we've been home and crossed our wake. It's been about 4 months. It's the end of summer. It's been an absolute whirlwind. So much joy and accomplishment crossing the wake and seeing friends and family. Then also just the buzz that happened like the rest of the summer, running into people. You start to kind of get into the routine, and for all the good and bad of it. But then all of a sudden I'd come down to the boat and there'd be another boater here that recognized us and would talk to us, and just the joy that would bring back, of the excitement of what we did, and just the people that somehow we've managed to connect with. It's just been amazing, the people that we've talked to and now consider friends, and looking forward to meeting up with some of them. So it's kind of been unreal in that sense.
There. Now sit down.
Oh, kisses.
Oh boy. There you
So
go.
nice.
You can lay down. Lay down. Good boy. So we have been. Oh,
Oh, kisses.
we have been home now for 4 months. It's the end of summer. The days are getting shorter. The leaves are changing. The nights are getting cooler, and it's been a bit of an emotional up and down 4 months. We've been back at our dock. We've been back at our house. We're with family and friends and everybody we love, and there's nothing better. But we miss being out there, and we don't miss it wasn't a certain port or a certain thing, but we miss being out there. The adventure every day. People say, how can you spend that much time together? I feel like we came home a little stronger for it. And every day there, day after day, for month after month, it was, what are we doing today? Where are we going? We have to conquer these 40 miles, or we have to conquer fixing the boat, and to come home and go back to the same old, which is not bad. The comfort of home is what brings everybody home, but it was quite a shock to go from, we're traveling every day, we're making a plan, we're planning a route, what's the weather doing, who are we going to meet, what are we going to see, and then boom, just back to the house and the job and the car and normal life, like it never even happened. That's a hard thing to describe. You don't want to make it sound or feel like it's a poor me kind of thing, because we went on the adventure of a lifetime. But it is hard to switch back to reality, day-to-day reality, after you've done something like that. So that took a little bit of adjusting.
It is weird to get back into this norm that is kind of not normal anymore. It doesn't feel normal. It doesn't feel, I don't know. It's hard to describe, but don't want to be, poor me or anything, or poor us, but just feel a little lost. Just the day-to-day has been just getting back in the routine has been harder than we thought, for sure. Right now we're getting ready to close the season and close the boat up and put her away and pack her up and empty her out. I was here just by myself last night, and I was just looking around the boat thinking, we lived on this, and it's just, I don't want to see it. I don't want to put her away. It's but such a small space just becomes everything you need, and it's just nice to not have all the extra baggage around. And
The freedom of just being able to start the engines and go, like we were doing for almost a year, is now sort of colliding with reality. Like, the boat needs work. Can we leave home again for that long period of time? Here in Michigan, when the marinas close and the lake ice is over, the boats get put away. So it's not like we have all winter to make the decision. And here in Michigan, we have a small window where we have to make the decision. So those are some of the things we're working on now. We're down here, thankfully, we have this great extended summer going on right now, where it's like sunny in the 70s every day, even in almost October. So we're down here enjoying it with our friends who are all still keeping their boats in the water, and we're just making the most of it. And we're reflecting on the exciting, wonderful times we had, and reflecting on what's next, and wondering, can we make it happen again? Is this something we should do again? And day to day, we have those conversations, and you just never know.
He's gonna be behind us. There you go. Go for it. He wants to be in the picture.
He does.
He's a part of it.
So we want to talk a little bit about what's up with Andromeda. Why can't we just start the engines and go? So we come down here just about every week and we kind of go through the boat. We've started at the bow, gone through every cabin, gone through every system on the boat, and just said, where do we want Andromeda to be before we cast the lines and go again? And we did such a good job at prepping and getting her ready to go. I remember everything we did.
Right.
That some of the things that just need attention. So we have our log book, and we've been doing our normal maintenance procedures, oils changes, all that stuff, taking care of our air conditioners, that kind of thing. And we've gone through, and we actually have
Lists.
lists.
Quite a few.
We have 3 or 4 pages of a notebook with things we want to get accomplished, and we're trying to sort out what are we going to have the boatyard do and what can we do ourselves. And I will say that the 2 big items right now that are probably a little bit out of the do-it-yourself range are the problems with our starboard engine. Pulling in on the day we crossed our wake, we lost half our power. We went on several test runs where we got power back and then the power was gone. We found a clogged air filter. It was one of those things like light bulb went off. Duh, we should have known. But we found a clogged air filter and replaced it. And we went on a run on a vacation up to Frankfurt. And it happened again with the engine, and this time it collapsed the new air filter, totally collapsed it. And our engine room is absolutely covered front to back, top to bottom with exhaust soot.
Yeah. The back of the boat I've already cleaned the back of the boat, but the exterior of the boat, the inside of the cabinets again.
It's bad.
Just like in Orange Beach when it happened, it's the film.
The film. It's a dark, it's black exhaust soot. We bought Andromeda with a very small exhaust leak in the starboard side. We could monitor it. When I checked the oil, I could clean a little bit of soot off and it was fine. And she took us all the way around the loop, 6,000 nautical miles, and didn't let loose till the very last day.
Literally hit the lighthouse.
Literally coming around the corner.
Big Sabo Point. If you're from the area, right before home.
So she took good care of us, and now we have to take good care of her. So that small exhaust leak, like leaks do, is now bigger than we can manage ourselves. We're hoping it's a turbo gasket and not a manifold, but we have to get it down to some techs who know what's going on. So that is the number one reason we can't just cast the lines and go. And the second item is our house battery system just isn't quite working correctly. We've had problems with the charging. I've seemed to be able to solve the charging, and now when I click the inverter on to leave the dock, there's nothing. The batteries are fully charged, but it's just not working. So we have to run the generator when we leave the dock, and that's not.
Because the fridge freezer is connected to it.
But we have to keep our refrigeration going. So where we're taking the boat this fall is where we had the house batteries put in. So that's the 2 biggest things we have to get fixed. A lot of the other stuff we'll try and do ourselves when we're in storage. And I mean, a lot of it's just cleaning and stuff,
right.
Which is.
The rest of it's not major. I think those 2 things are definitely what's keeping us here. The rest of it, I mean, when we were debating back and forth, and we still are questioning it, but this is what is making it where there's just no choice. We have to, especially after the Frankfurt run. Once we, just on the way there, when we noticed, you couldn't deny it because you lost power again, pulling into right in front of the Frankfurt Marina, or lost part of the starboard. So we have to get that fixed.
Yeah. And it is tough because we are having this beautiful extended summer this year. So we'll wake up and see Lake Michigan look like a sheet of glass.
Yeah.
And we could be down to Hammond and in the river in one day.
That's what's hard. Is because now we know what to do. We know we can do it. We got all the equipment. That's what's the hardest is we can go, and we're ready to go and we want to go, we just can't go.
Yeah.
So
So we've had it's been kind of cool. Like we said, there's a few loopers coming through here right now, heading towards Chicago. We're going to enjoy a beautiful day, but we've got our projects. We've got, if it's not next week, it's the week after. We're going to fire her up and get her 60 miles south and get Andromeda on the hard.
and for all the Ollie fans out there, we were wondering how he would adjust back to being off the boat and stuff. After being home for a few days, if I go anywhere near my car, he starts to flip out. He wants to come to the boat. So I do think, even with all the ups and downs that he had, I think he wants to be a boat dog.
He does. As soon as we leave and he gets the sense we're leaving the house and going to the boat, he becomes an emotional wreck.
Yeah.
So.
He's like whining, whimpering, grabbing his babies and standing by his truck or my car, like, okay, we're ready.
So all three of us would like to get this show on the road and get the boat south again and do another loop or some kind of adventure. And there's things we talk about and dream about all the time, from different types of boats to different types of lifestyles on the boat. And we're gonna bring you along as long as you're interested. We're gonna keep putting out good content and hopefully take you along for the ride. If it helps with your decisions, great. But yeah, that's where we're at now. Some projects to complete. Enjoy the last few weeks of summer, and then on the hard she goes again.
Yep. We got a lot of comments from the loop of, we were going so fast and all that stuff, and we addressed that in a couple of videos. Everything was good, but one of the things that me and Bob have talked about is the excitement of going back down now is we learned so much. I mean, anybody who's done this or even part of this knows that you just learn so much quickly and together. And the other thing is, now we know what kind of stops we like or what interests us more. Now we understand more of even just map reading, of looking at the setup of the marina, what to look for, like how close is it walkable, and you learn that really quickly when you're doing it. And it might be something basic to anybody else, but for us, never having done that, there's a lot of places that we want to either go back to that we wish we could have stayed longer, and especially from all of our followers and people who have commented and taken the time to comment, thank you. But they've given us a lot of great tips too that I've been marking down and keeping a log of, like when we were in Paducah, they're like, oh, you got to go here.
Try this or go here.
Yeah, so those are the places that we want to see, or the off the beaten path, or the local favorites. So we're excited.
First thing for Barrett Boat Works is our port side packing nut. The rudder shaft, the rudder box, or the stuffing box was all new when we had our repairs done in Orange Beach. And throughout the rest of our trip, that packing nut seemed to be damp. Now I've learned that dampness is okay, but sometimes we actually get some standing water back there. I know how to tighten it, and I've tightened it, and every once in a while we still just have some water pooled up back there. So that is one of the things we're going to have them check. We don't know if they have to pull the packing out and redo it or whatever, but it seems to be something more than I can figure out on my own. You can see there, I don't know if the light's picking it up, but there is some standing water in there, and that nut, no matter how much we tighten it, seems to always be damp, or let enough water in that some water ends up standing back there. So this is our Victron Multi-Plus inverter and charger. We had some problems on the charging side. We were able to fix those with a reboot, and for about the last 10 or 15 stops of our loop, the inverter side stopped working. Everything's showing up, everything's reporting. There's no error messages, but we go to click it over on the circuit board and we can't run our AC circuits from the inverter. So that's the whole point of this. We have to run the generator every time we leave the dock. We spent a lot of time, a lot of money engineering this system, and so there's a little glitch somewhere, and we just want to get down there. Again, where we're taking the boat this winter is the company that put this system in, so hopefully they have some insight as to what's going on. So you can see from these smudgy footprints in our dark, dim engine room that we had a big problem with our exhaust leak. That ceiling is not painted black, it is coated black with soot from the exhaust system. It is, the starboard exhaust system is leaking. I do think that maybe even the port exhaust system is now leaking. We're hoping that it's turbo gaskets or turbo related, but if it's not that, it could be manifolds, which is a lot more work. So we have a lot of cleaning to do down here, and we need to get some guys who know what they're doing, checking these exhaust systems out and figuring out what's going on. So we were talked into, I don't remember why or who or how, but we were talked into that we needed a separate anchor setting snubber or bridle. I don't know why we thought that was what we needed, but we had this one made specifically for setting the anchor. And then once we were at anchor, we have a mantis bridle that we put on. It makes no sense even as I'm saying it, but it came with this chain hook, and setting the anchor in the Bahamas, this chain hook failed and came zipping back at the boat and took a chunk out of the boat.
So when we were in the Bahamas, me and my daughter Laura, I usually do the anchoring and all that by ourselves, but because the girls are with us, she came out just to give me an extra hand. And we did everything we were supposed to. We hooked it on the chain, stood back, told Bob, was set, and he went back to give it the tension to see if it was set, and this thing just bent, and we didn't know it was bending because we were going back, and I was probably at the beginning of the swim platform right by the window, the hatch, and Laura was over to the starboard side of the back. Luckily, when it did, because it came flying back up, this came flying back up onto the bow. Hit that and then flew up. So this could have killed us. Could have killed her, me. So this was a huge lesson learned. So I have to be very diligent about all the smuts, that trying not to get it to go down into our sump pump, because I'm the one that cleans it. And even with this screen, there's still always stuff in there. So
we have 3 sinks, a kitchen sink, 2 bathroom vanities, and 2 showers, and those all drain into our gray water system. And it gets a little oily and a little nasty, and as Kathy said, she's the one that's brave enough to clean it. And so one of the things we want to ask about this fall, when the boat is on the hard, is can we do through holes? A lot of our sailor friends have through holes at all their sinks and some at their showers. There's really nothing going down there, and it goes into this gray water tank and goes out into the water anyway. So that's one of the things we want to ask about. How much is it? Can I do it myself? Should we do it? If anybody knows and wants to comment on it, if you have through holes in your boat. I absolutely cringe at the thought of drilling a hole in a perfectly good boat, but it seems like it might make some of the maintenance problems a little easier. Maybe one less pump and one less dirty tank to clean, but that is also something we're considering.
the other thing that I noticed, and I'm sure he did too, but yes, all the water goes down and gets into that sump, and then it fills up and then it drains. But what we can't tell and you don't hear is, like, I might have just did that last dish and it might have just drained, but that water is now going to sit in there until the whole tank fills up, and it takes a while to fill up, and then it empties out, but it never empties all the way out. So there's always like a scum line. And we were very careful. I don't pour any coffee down here. The first time I learned that, we used to just, you're just out of habit, you pour your half cup of coffee down there, all that just sits in there. So since we learned, before we even left, we were real careful. Nothing goes in here. Even like when we have dishes, I try and take the napkin, the paper towel we used, and I wipe off if Allie didn't lick it.
Tell them the best pre-rinse.
Ollie's the best pre-rinse, of course, but if we can't get Ollie, and sometimes he's not always as diligent on the pre-rinse, depending on what we're eating.
Ollie loves to help us do
He
dishes.
does the dishes, but I still take a paper, the dirty napkins, and at least just get the substance off. But still, all that, if it's ranch, ketchup, anything, just sits in there.
Which I think, do you think we would still do that? I mean, we'd still do that.
I would still do
But
that,
it's
just so it's not in the line.
It's just going to keep the scum from building up in that gray tank.
Yeah, and luckily, knock on wood, we have not had a problem with it smelling, but I kind of almost, after what we just did, can't believe. Every once in a while, we would squirt quite a bit of just soap down there before we would go and let the water run if we were on a marina and had free water, just to kind of jostle it up down there, thinking that we would flush it, and then when we were en route, it would maybe loosen, but so maybe that helped. But when I just went and cleaned it a week ago, it's pretty gnarly.
We have made our to-do lists and our big projects are set for this winter. In a few short days, we will empty the boat of all of our belongings and take Andromeda 60 miles south, where she will spend the winter on the hard and under repair. For us, it will be another big adjustment. We have spent the last 4 months easing back into land life, but during those 4 months, Andromeda was always down at the dock where we could spend time on board anytime we wanted to. Now, after almost 2 years of living on board, we will have no boat. She will be in her winter home, and we will be in our home, planning and dreaming about being somewhere out there.